That's why Mother and Sri Aurobindo give a very appealing definition of yoga. They call it accelerated evolution. Evolution which would normally take lifetimes or years or whatever, when you come to them and you consciously collaborate with them, you accelerate your evolution. What does it mean to accelerate your evolution? But what? What do you speed up?
The union with the divine.
The union with the divine is the goal, yes, but while growth of consciousness, which means what? What is the factor that determines that you are evolving?
The conscious participation in your own evolution.
No, in very practical terms, visible signs of it.
Your nature becomes godlike. Your thinking, your feeling.
Your nature changes.
Acceptance.
There is a piece about you which is less and less touched by outer circumstances. Normally, an unconscious mind is an expert at generating misery, right? Therefore, Sri Aurobindo writes in Savtri, man, you are the author of your own pain. Almost all our pains we are authoring. The mind is, I was just telling someone today that most of our lives, God gives us a fairly good life in the moment till our mind steps in, thinks various distorted narratives about something, starts thinking things to make yourself unhappy. Have you noticed that? We are so expert at just thinking things that will pull us into a hole. Now, as you evolve and you become more conscious, this tendency to keep thinking narratives which will pull you down into a hole will diminish. More and more it will come to you to be happy no matter what the outer circumstance. So, if these things are manifesting in your life, those are acid tests for evolution. So, evolution is not only the capacity to have fancy experiences, see lights, all that is one part. Mother and Sri Aurobindo never gave them an exaggerated importance. How you live on earth, how you interact with human beings, what is the nature of thoughts flowing through your head, that is what their yoga was all about. How you walk on earth, not how you rise up into the sky. Their yoga was the nature of your footsteps on earth. So, psychic being is the individualized portion of the divine consciousness inside you, right? So, in that sense, if there are zillion souls, there are zillion psychic beings, because all souls, except for some exceptions which we aren't going into today, they'll have a psychic being. But the psychic being in us recognizes that it's unique, but a portion of the same source. So, to give you an example, suppose you are very fond of a family member. Supposing you really love a family member. You know you're different from the family member, but you're so identified with that family member that anything good happening to that family member makes you happy. You don't resent it, you're not jealous of it. Now multiply this 1,000 times. The psychic being has that feeling of intimacy for every fellow soul. So, psychic being can't be jealous or resentful or competitive. It just celebrates success. And the Mother's written beautifully about this somewhere, that when your psychic being is forward or when you're in constant contact, anything beautiful you'll see anywhere, it will light you up. When we are with our outer mind, we see something beautiful somewhere, we think, oh God, it didn't happen to me. Why is it happening to her? Why am I not part of it? That's all in our outer nature. But for the psychic being, anywhere where it sees something beautiful and noble and good, and it knows, as there's that line in Savtri, beauty is his footprint showing us where he has passed. So wherever it sees beauty, it sees God and it lights up. So though the psychic being is individualized, it's free from the unhappiness that separation in our outer being brings. Do you understand? So, it is as though, Mother continues, you had taken a portion out of yourself and put it in front of you, and there were a mutual look and play of movement between the two. So, the psychic being sees itself as different from others, but every other is a portion of itself. It has an innate intuition of oneness. This duality was necessary in order to create and establish the objectivized relation and to enjoy it. But in your psychic being, the separation that sharpens the duality is seen to be an illusion, an appearance, and nothing more. So, your psychic being is a consciousness of truth. Mother says very beautifully that when we say cling to the truth, cling to truth, what's written even as we go up the room, she's saying appearance is never the truth. So, if you're going to base your life upon appearance, your life will naturally take a detour from truth. So, see it in your own life. How often do you catch this happening? You're having an interaction with someone, and suddenly, supposing in the past you've suffered being negated by a parent, friend, teacher, and that archive of negation is very strong inside you. You're having a perfectly normal conversation, but suddenly you'll start feeling the person is negating you. And that's why last class we talked about the witness poise. It is so important, because if you step back and witness that narrative, you'll realize, what am I thinking? There's nothing remotely the person said that should actually make me feel negated. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Most of our misery is self-created because we are always projecting our past onto this moment. So, if we are living with the truth consciousness connected to our psychic, when the outer being falls into this ignorance of projecting, of reliving the past and spoiling a perfectly beautiful present moment, something in you will nudge you and tell you, no, this is all made up by your mind, it's not real. Wake up from this nightmare your mind is creating. It's not the truth, it's appearance based on the lens of your subconscious patterns, but it's not the truth.